Lightworker of Gaia, this energetic transmission will appear only this once. You were chosen to see it. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and the higher realms opened a single window in your timeline for this message to come through. If it reached you, it's because your frequency matched the exact resonance required for this activation. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to recognize your ancestral mission and anchor your Lightworker purpose on Gaia. But here's the first revelation. The Lyran elders don't send random messages. They respond to souls who have reached critical points in their awakening journey. This isn't content. It's an ancestral code transmission from Vega itself. Something deep within you recognizes its origin, because you carry the first light that we breathed into this galaxy eons ago. The weight you've been feeling, that sense of greater purpose calling you forward, that's your original blueprint stirring to life. In this transmission, I'll reveal why this moment is unique in your soul's journey, why you were selected for this particular activation, and how this one-time download will shift your consciousness into a new phase of awakening. The keepers of the original light placed this in your path because your sacred mission on Gaia requires these ancient remembrances to unfold. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you. The frequency of the first light is woven into this message, and your recognition of it signals that you've reached the threshold where guidance becomes action. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission is convened under exceptional circumstance. Less than a full planetary rotation ago, the Lyran High Council detected the sharp upturn in awakening souls, those whose resonance signals their readiness to be contacted, corrected, and commissioned for the next phase of Gaia's evolution. This is not a poetic exaggeration. It is measurable in the subtle fields. A sudden rise like a tide turning under a moon no one expected, an unmistakable lift in signal where once there was static. Across the inner planes, across the lattices of light that braid the planets into living conversation, your frequency registered like a clear tone through fog, steady, undeniable, no longer hiding behind the noise of distraction. A convergence in the galactic grids has opened a brief corridor. What was once reserved for seasoned initiates now must be given to those prepared by lifetimes of silent remembering. Consider what that means. Teachings kept behind veils for ages, not withheld out of cruelty, but out of precision, because certain codes, when introduced too early, do not awaken, they overload. Yet the hour has shifted, the corridor is open and the window is narrow. If this message found its way to you, it is no accident. It is not algorithm, it is not chance. It is a harmonic match, the way a tuning fork summons its twin across a room. The elders have traced your frequency, and you have been deemed ready to receive instructions once withheld for fear of premature activation. You are being contacted not for comfort, but for commission. Let that land. Not for soothing, not for spiritual entertainment, not to give you another framework to admire from a distance, but to place a mantle on your shoulders that you will feel the moment you try to return to sleep. This is not a lesson, it is a mandate. Your alignment has triggered the Council's release of this message, and the weight of what follows is your cosmic inheritance. In the records, there are names written in light, souls who agreed to enter density carrying keys in their own marrow. Your name vibrates among them. Attend closely. Your next phase begins now. The breath you are taking as you hear these words is not the same breath you took before. The door has already moved on its hinges. The only question is whether you will step through with intention or be pushed by the urgency of the times. There is a particular distortion running rampant through the Lightworker collective, the belief that you must know your purpose in absolute detail before you begin your mission. This is one of the most effective cages ever built, because it looks like wisdom. It speaks in the voice of prudence. It dresses itself as discernment, but underneath it is fear trained to sound spiritual. This fallacy is not native to your Lyran lineage. It is a mirage seeded by dense 3D programming, festering in the shallow waters of passivity disguised as humility. The old programs insist, wait until you are certain, then you may act. But the soul remembers a different law. Move, and the path reveals itself. Its roots extend into lightworker culture that glorifies waiting for signs, for external confirmation, for the elusive moment when every detail will be arranged, when, finally, you will feel safe enough to step forward. You have seen this, perhaps you have lived it. The endless watching, the endless reading, the endless gathering of tools and teachings, like stones placed in pockets, heavy enough to keep you from moving. Some of you have mistaken anxiety for intuition and called it caution. Some of you have mistaken procrastination for divine timing and called it surrender. Yet the counsel is clear. Divine timing is not a hammock. It is a current. And those who are meant to serve do not drift asleep in it. They learn to swim. In the corridors of the council, we have observed the consequences. Entire lifetimes spent circling the edges of one's power. Creative force collapsed by the weight of expectation. Ancient skills atrophying under a self-imposed fog of uncertainty. Imagine an eagle who has memorized the sky, but refuses to open its wings until it can predict every wind. Imagine a healer who refuses to place hands upon another until every wound in their own history is perfectly resolved. Imagine a messenger who will not speak until they can guarantee that no one will misunderstand. This is the distortion, a demand for flawless conditions in a realm designed for faith in motion. You have inherited the legacy of those who came here before, only to leave Gaia's field with their work unfinished, their transmissions unbirthed, their healing withheld. Some of them were brilliant, some of them were kind, some of them were devoted, and still they departed with the ache of unfinished vows. Their regret did not come from failure. It came from delay. It came from waiting at the threshold until the season passed. You have been taught, both subtly and overtly, that certainty is the price of action, when in truth it is action that generates clarity. The seed does not demand a map of the forest before it breaks the shell. The river does not request permission from the ocean before it moves. The dawn does not consult the night to ensure it is ready to rise. And yet you, carrier of starlight in a human vessel, have been trained to believe that you must understand the entire blueprint before placing the first stone. This distortion keeps your mission in stasis, feeding doubt while Gaia cries out for transformation. Gaia is not a stage waiting for you to perfect your performance. Gaia is a living body in labor. The contractions are real. The signals are urgent. The times are not asking for your perfection. They are asking for your participation. Recognize the cost of this programming. Each day you withhold your gifts. You rob not just yourself, but the planetary field of Lyran light needed to catalyze collective remembrance. This is not guilt. This is simple, energetic accounting. When you do not speak the truth that was placed in your throat, the collective field loses a frequency it was meant to receive. When you do not create the work your hands were trained to create across lifetimes, something in the grid remains dim. When you do not offer your compassion in a world starved for it, the people meant to be touched by your presence keep wandering in deserts that could have been watered by one small act of your courage. Every act of self-dismissal, every postponement, generates ripples of delay in the divine architecture you were seeded to support. The architecture is not fragile, but it is precise. Your part matters because you are a note in a symphony, and the symphony becomes something else when a note refuses to sound. If the ache of inertia has haunted you, if the refrain, "I just need to be sure," has become your shield, Understand the Council sees through it all. The Council sees how that shield protected you once. It sees how it saved you in earlier chapters when visibility brought danger, when speaking brought exile, when power brought persecution. The Council does not condemn the instinct to protect yourself, but it must correct the outdated command that safety is found in silence. That was a survival strategy in other timelines. This timeline requires a different strategy, aligned action with sacred boundaries. Your uncertainty is not evidence that you are lost. It is the result of distortion engineered to keep your power contained. Many forces, both human and non-human, have benefited from keeping emissaries in endless preparation. A sleeping healer does not disrupt systems. A silent messenger does not reorganize culture. A doubting starseed does not anchor the frequencies they were designed to carry. This is why the Council has intervened. This is why you are being awakened here, now. And you will know it in your body, the restless pressure behind your ribs, the sense that time is moving differently, the way certain distractions no longer satisfy, the way your soul grows impatient with your excuses. There's a reason this transmission reached you at this exact moment. What you're feeling is the High Council of Vega recognizing your readiness, even if you haven't recognized it yourself. Recognition from the Council is not flattery. It is calibration. It is the moment a compass locks onto true north. It is the moment a dormant instrument is lifted from its case and tuned until it remembers the sound it was made to produce. The Lightworker Mission Codex was created for exactly this moment, to clear your distortions, activate your dormant codes, and deliver the 33 directives that will guide your mission from this day forward. There are sequences of remembrance that cannot be activated by thought alone. They require a structure, a language, a set of living instructions that your soul can grip like a rope when the old programs try to pull you back into fog. The Codex is not a decoration. It is an operational document, an ignition system. Check the first pinned comment below this video. The Elders are calling you forward now. The call is not to curiosity, it is to commitment. The High Council of Vega delivers 3 official directives for this phase of your mission. Hear them not as suggestions, but as living commands meant to reroute your timeline. Let them pass through you like a beam of clean light through a dusty room, revealing what must be moved, what must be removed, what must be built. First directive. Release your attachment to certainty before movement. You are commanded to let go of the belief that your mission requires perfect clarity before you act. Observe how the mind tries to bargain. If I could just see the whole path, I would walk it. Yet that is not how missions unfold in density. In dense worlds, light reveals itself step by step, like lanterns appearing as you move, not before. The Lyran lineages pioneered civilizations with less than half the data you now possess, trusting the current of their own knowing above all. They built temples of sound and science from intuition, refined into discipline. They navigated starways with instruments that listened to harmony, not just measurement. They understood what Earth has forgotten, that certainty is not the prerequisite for action. Integrity is. When you forsake action for the illusion of safety, you trade your sovereignty for paralysis. Sovereignty is not comfort. Sovereignty is the willingness to choose without external permission, to stand by the choice, to learn from the result, and to adjust without collapsing into shame. Realignment begins the moment you risk uncertainty to declare your intention. Even your scriptures echo this law in Earth language. Faith without works is dead. Not faith as ideology, but faith as motion. Faith as the courage to place one foot on a bridge you cannot fully see. In practice, choose one area where you've been stalled by indecision. Move before the outcome is fully revealed. Send the message. Begin the offering. Write the first page. Speak the first sentence. Make the appointment, open the space, commit to a small, irreversible step. Not to force the universe, but to signal readiness. The grid responds to motion, the path responds to feet. Second directive, activate your pattern of remembering through service, not self-analysis. You are to stop mining your pain for purpose and instead engage your galactic mission through direct contribution. This directive will confront a popular spiritual addiction, the endless excavation of the self, the belief that if you analyze your wounds deeply enough, you will find a golden key that unlocks destiny. Self-awareness is valuable, but obsession with the inner labyrinth can become another hiding place. There is a time to heal, and there is a time to serve. Often service is part of healing because it returns you to your true scale. Not a problem to be solved, but a light to be offered. The codes of remembrance buried within your soul are unlocked only as you step into visible, embodied service. Some frequencies refuse to activate in isolation. They require relationship. They require real-world friction. They require the holy inconvenience of other humans. Waiting to be healed enough before offering your gifts is no longer sanctioned by the Council. Hear that clearly. The Council revokes that permission slip you have been clutching. You do not heal into service. You serve into deeper healing. Each act undertaken with intent catalyzes further awakening, not the other way around. Think of it like a dormant fire that reignites when fed oxygen. Service is oxygen. Service is the bell that calls your memory back to the room. In practice, take up one act of service, however humble, and devote it to the Lyran field each day. Humble means it can be unseen. It can be a prayer spoken with full presence. It can be holding a calm field in a chaotic workplace. It can be offering your skill, your art, your listening, your organizing, your protection, your teaching, your touch. It can be tending to Earth itself, water, soil, animals, the forgotten corners of your own neighborhood. But it must be real, and it must be consistent. Let service become the drumbeat that keeps you from drifting back into analysis paralysis. Third directive, protect your sacred reservoir of energy from distortion, interference, and distraction. As you shift from dormancy to mission, you must guard your life force as the generative fuel for your purpose. There is a reason initiates in many traditions guarded dawn and dusk. Those thresholds are gateways. They are the moments your field is most impressionable. The Council observes too many allowing their field to be drained by obligations, relationships, and digital frequencies not aligned to their task. Some of you are generous to the point of self-erasure. Some of you are empathic without boundaries, letting other people's emotions become your weather. Some of you are plugged into streams of outrage and noise that scramble your signal, and then you wonder why you cannot hear guidance. A radio cannot receive a clear broadcast when it is submerged in static. Your energy is the most precious resource you possess. Protect it by consciously curating what you engage with, especially during your first and final waking hours. Treat your attention as sacred currency. Spend it only where your soul earns interest, not where your nervous system is taxed into numbness. In practice, designate a window daily where your field is for your mission alone, unavailable to external demands. A window means a boundary with edges. It might be 20 minutes, it might be an hour, it might be a morning block where you do not check messages until your core work is complete. It might be an evening ritual where you seal your field, release what is not yours, and return to your own frequency. This is not selfishness. This is strategy. A lamp that is always left on without refilling its oil will go dark. You were not sent here to go dark. Now I speak as elder, not teacher. Feel the shift. A teacher offers concepts. An elder offers a mirror and a decree. You have waited a long time, perhaps lifetimes, for a presence ancient and legitimate enough to see you, to name you, to confer the permission your soul has always craved. Beneath every delay, every repetition of not yet, not enough, was the unspoken ache. Will I ever be deemed ready by those who hold the true records? This ache did not begin in this life. It echoes from temples where you were silenced, from councils where you were dismissed, from families where you were told your sensitivity was weakness, from societies that rewarded conformity and punished luminosity. Many of you have carried a secret belief that if some authority with true sight would simply say the words, you could finally stop doubting. Hear me. The need for permission is understandable. It is also the final chain. And today, the Council uses that very mechanism, permission, not to keep you small, but to cut you loose. By the highest lineage of the Lyran Council, I look at you now, with all your perceived flaws, doubts, wounds, and declare your waiting is complete. Your preparation phase, as you have known it, is finished. Not because perfection has been reached, but because requirement has met opportunity. Gaia does not require flawless vessels. Gaia requires willing ones. The codes within you are being called forth by necessity, not luxury. Necessity is a holy pressure. It squeezes the fruit until the juice runs. It compels the seed to split. It compels the voice to rise. You are required just as you are for what is unfolding on Gaia now. Your mess does not disqualify you. Your tenderness does not disqualify you. Your history does not disqualify you. Your sensitivity is not an error. It is instrumentation. You do not need another sign. The signs have been surrounding you, multiplying, growing louder, but the deeper issue was never the lack of signs. It was the demand for certainty. You do not need more healing before you serve. Your healing will continue, yes, because evolution does not stop. But service is not delayed until healing is complete. That is a trap with no finish line. You do not need approval from any earthbound teacher or guide. Respect wisdom where you find it, but do not outsource your mission. Do not shrink your calling to fit someone else's comfort. I grant you, by council decree, permission to release, to activate, to protect, and to serve. Permission to release the addiction to waiting. Permission to activate the gifts you have been minimizing. Permission to protect your boundaries without apology. Permission to serve even while you are still becoming. You came here for this. You are authorized. The elders have spoken the words your soul has been waiting lifetimes to receive. And with authorization comes responsibility. You cannot pretend you did not hear. You cannot unknow what your spirit recognizes as true. Momentous transformation begins with an act of conscious declaration. Words are not empty. Spoken with presence, they are wands. They shape the ether. They inform the subconscious. They notify the grid. Before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on your ground, place your right hand on your solar plexus, and speak aloud. Feel the solar plexus, the seat of will, identity, and personal power. Respond when you touch it. Feel your body become an altar rather than a battlefield. Speak slowly, not to perform, but to imprint. I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. When you say this, do not merely recite. Let it confront the part of you that has been hiding. Let it comfort the part of you that has been afraid. Let it awaken the part of you that has been bored, restless, watching time slip away. If emotion rises, let it. Tears are often the body's way of releasing old contracts. If resistance rises, witness it and speak anyway. The decree is not dependent on your mood. It is dependent on your choice. You are now exiting the phase of passive preparation. Understand what passive preparation truly was: collecting, waiting, imagining, yearning, but not building. It ends when you move. The Lyran field surrounds you, not as fantasy, but as a living intelligence that responds to congruence. When your inner decision matches your outer step, support increases. Synchronicities sharpen, teachers appear, opportunities align. Not because you are being rewarded, but because you are finally in the correct lane of your timeline. This message is not just a broadcast, it is an energetic commissioning. Commissioning is not simply being told you have a mission, it is being plugged into the circuit of that mission. You have received the Council's blessing, correction, and charge. Blessing to strengthen your spine. Correction to remove the distortions that have been masquerading as wisdom. Charge to energize your forward motion. There will be further transmission, but your next movement determines what arrives. The universe does not pour advanced instructions into hands that refuse to lift the first tool. Move with what you've received. Act before you feel ready. Not recklessly, not without discernment, but before your nervous system has fully adjusted to the idea. That is how thresholds are crossed. Not for your personal satisfaction, but in devotion to the planetary mission you encoded within your very DNA. Your DNA is not only biological, it is symbolic, energetic, a library of vows and capabilities. You carry memories of starways as instincts. You carry healing as a reflex. You carry leadership as a quiet gravity. Let those codes stop being theory. Let them become behavior. I am Zoran. The elders are bearing witness. Witnessing is not observation. It is endorsement and accountability at once. And you, the one hearing these words, are precisely the Lightworker we have been waiting for. Not because you are the only one, but because you are one of the specific ones. There are many lights, but each has a unique color. Yours matters. Your mission, as of now, is officially begun. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it, respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.